at Lookuptv across all your social media platforms. This is the Captain's Arena. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. Use the hashtag Captain's Arena. I am at Kiage Simba. So the conversation that we're going to have today is centered around personal development, especially on speech writing, public speaking, leadership, presentation skills. And so you want to, what is that? And who does that? Yeah, there are clubs within this particular region that are actually telling you that should you join us, we're going to help you climb that ladder and walk a bit faster, because good communicators become leaders, and good leaders are good communicators. So at this point then, I'm going to introduce you to Toastmasters International, but more specifically, District 114. And today we are privileged to be joined by one Japhet Musau, DTM, who is the Director, District 114. So let's hear the man speak. Japhet, how are you doing, sir?
Very well, thank you.
It's a privilege to have you around there. And every time I speak to you, I have to pay keen attention to even the words that I use myself, because this particular episode of the Captain's Arena is essentially speaking heavily to what you represent as a person. But even before we talk about your birthday and what you want to achieve, that is in the second part of this particular conversation. For those people who want to know who Toastmasters International are, but most importantly, District 114, why are you now a director? You do a proper introduction.
Thank you very much. Toastmasters International started in 1924. So this year, we're celebrating 100 years. It's a big milestone for us. It started in the US as a program to help managers better express themselves, and hence the name Toastmasters. When you come together in an official function, there's that part of the function where you have to do a toast. The founder of Toastmasters, Ralph Smeldingley, noticed that managers had this challenge. They could not even propose a toast. It's like a 3-minute speech, say something positive about an achievement. It was a big challenge. That's where and how Toastmasters began. We are now in 142 countries, 14,000 clubs, about almost 300,000 members, all developing their communication and their leadership skills.
Nazam. So it's a special journey. Talk to me about District 114 then specifically, where you're now the director.
The structure of Toastmasters has a support mechanism. That's where districts come in. There are almost 130 districts around the world. We are number 114. Our territory covers 10 countries within East Africa and the Horn of Africa: Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, Eritrea, Djibouti, Ethiopia, South Sudan, and Mayotte,
yes,
which is a territory of France.
Yes.
So we have 2 languages within our district. The larger part is Anglophone, and we have a small part which speaks French. What I remember up to today, like it happened yesterday, is how I went up that stage, looked at that tiny crowd, crammed into a small hall, and for the first time, hundreds of eyes were piercing into mine. I panicked. I forgot my lines. I promised myself that I will never speak in public again.
How many years were those?
Through high school, through university, through my first few jobs.
Hold on. It was that long?
Yes, until I realized this was a career-limiting disposition. I went to my mentor. I said, I have this problem. People are getting promoted ahead of me. I'm not getting recognized. And I realized it was because I was not speaking in meetings. I was not volunteering for leadership positions. And that kept me back. My mentor told me, look for Toastmasters, join, it will help you. And I'm glad I listened.
When somebody looks at you and goes back to your earlier life, as someone who's growing in this particular space, even before the big revelation of I can't speak in front of people, did you ever envision yourself in this particular space?
Not really. When I started looking for Toastmasters, like I said, it was to develop my speaking competencies, just to come out of that shell, be able to express myself, and one thing led to another. The tagline of Toastmasters is where leaders are made. Besides helping people become better communicators, the other part of it is helping them become better leaders. And everything we do at Toastmasters is centered around helping people become better communicators and better leaders.
Better leaders. I want you to look back into your family. As you know, they say you can suppress a skill by an experience, but that particular skill has got to go back into the family. When you look at your upbringing, do you see somebody in the family who has got no problem expressing themselves that you always looked up to?
My father, he was a former teacher, later became a business person, was a community leader, politician. He was always out there
see now
speaking.
There it is. Then you're always desperate actually that you do. You want a mentor either in the family.
Exactly.
So it's not an accident, despite that bigger challenge.
Yes. It's not an accident, but also it's thanks to Toastmasters, which has a structured way to help you not only become a better speaker, but a better leader as well. We develop our speaking by delivering projects, speech projects. We get mentorship. We get feedback in form of evaluation. And this helps you to develop from level to level. In leadership, we get the opportunity to serve right from the club level, because within the district, we have clubs, which is where the magic happens. When you join Toastmasters, you become a member of a club. Within that club, there's a leadership structure. And that is where you can begin developing your leadership skills as either the club president or one of the vice presidents or the treasurer or the secretary, or maybe the sergeant at arms, the person that has to get the room ready, equipment, facilitate everybody. Then you go up the ranks, maybe become the treasurer, take care of the club finances, know how to follow accounting rules. Then you become one of the vice presidents, maybe public relations. You know how to do publicity for the club.
Yes.
A vice president of membership, how do you help the club cater to the needs of the members, grow in membership, attract new members. Or vice president education, who helps the members with their projects, schedule meetings, get members to get slots where they can present their projects. Or now, the club president now is the team leader of the entire team. You're now in charge of all the other leaders. You convene executive committee meetings. You do a success plan for the club. Make sure it's achieved over a period of 6 months.
Yes.
And this is how we develop leadership skills within Toastmasters.
Does it?
When you've done that, you have an opportunity to help a cluster of clubs. Now that's called an area director. As an area director, you're helping club presidents run their clubs. And then above you, you have a division director supporting you. A division director works with area directors. And then now we have the higher levels of district leadership. The directors, the district director coordinating the entire team, but assisted by a quality director and a growth director, as well as a public relations manager, a finance manager, a logistics manager. Within Toastmasters, now you learn how to run a large organization. Multi-countries, multi-languages, multi-cultures. But you're not doing this alone. There are leadership handbooks. There's headquarters support. There are frequent trainings from time to time. It becomes a well-structured and wonderful experience to grow in leadership.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I spoke to you last year. We're talking about the programs that are offered within Toastmasters and the structure in which you offer these programs. And then later on, you sent me a message and say, who knew you were speaking to the next District 114 director? I said, oh, you were destined for that. Could you tell me, was it a surprise that you were actually picked for this particular position? Or within you, Japheth, you knew, it's mine, I'm ready for this position?
It wasn't a surprise, but it was not scheduled.
Yes.
Because we have some rules in Toastmasters. When we spoke last year, I was on a track for competitive speaking.
Yes.
And that's what I was going to do until someone approached me to take up this position. That meant, at that point, I had to drop my competitive bid because within our rules, you cannot compete and at the same time be in leadership. They don't go together. So I had a very difficult decision to make, whether to decline the offer to be the district director and pursue my competitive speaking, which has its own perks and its own glories, or to take up the leadership challenge. After some reflections, I decided there will be another opportunity to pursue the competitive speaking because this is only for a year.
Yes.
But I'd been a district leader at other levels.
No, sir.
It was in my plans to be a district director, but not this time.
Yes.
But when the rest of the leadership pleaded with me and showed me that this was the opportunity to make a meaningful contribution, I took it up.
Does
and
it?
I'm glad I did.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
But it's been almost a year as well. What has changed about you? Because when you're district director, there are different responsibilities now. You tend to see things differently. You're running an organization. You're in charge of clubs from different countries as well within the region. What has changed about you or on a personal level?
You get to meet a lot of people from different cultures. First thing you learn is how to navigate different time zones, different cultures, different requirements, and also how to work with other leaders, because these are leaders in their own right. You're talking of division directors, they're in charge of areas, presidents also in charge of their clubs. So how do you influence these leaders to take a certain trajectory or a certain stance to align it with their own personal and club goals, and to have a sort of homogeneous theme for the entire district?
Yes.
And how to work with other leaders and how to influence almost remotely,
No, sir.
because it's a big lesson in influence leadership.
No, sir. Do you now carry the weight of influence as well? That people have to realize that growth in career comes with speaking a lot, public communication, presentation. It becomes with motivating people to buy into your skills as well. That one of your responsibilities now, whether you like it or not, is that you have to go outside there and be this person that the leaders are going to look at and say, I would like to be like Japheth. And because it comes from this particular club, I'd like to join it. Does that come with an extra weight now? Because you got to speak it and bury it for you to sell to these leaders that you want to join this movement. I want to call it a movement now.
Exactly. And one of the things my mentors told me, they're called regional directors. It's a whole structure. So I'm supported by a regional director. A lady, she told me, now that you become district director, they're looking at you. The way you walk, the way you dress, the way you talk.
The way you talk, the way you sit.
The way you laugh, the way you drink your water. They're looking at you as a model. So say, be that model. Model the leadership that they would like to see, model the person they'd like to see. They're looking at you, whether you're downcast, whether you're upbeat. So always be encouraging. Learn how to encourage them to continue, because personal development is not easy. It requires a bit of personal effort, undying commitment, focus. It's easy to let it slip. But how do you lead a group that is about personal development, that is always upbeat, looking and focused to the goal? So it's been quite an experience to be on that spot.
That's
because you're on the spot 24/7.
Always, isn't it?
The way you dress,
Yes.
the way you talk,
Yes.
and you almost become a status symbol.
That's it.
Right.
But I want to believe that because you've gone through the system, you've been in it, you've spoken about it, you've trained people around it, that it's not. Yes, you feel that there's this pressure to be that, but you now, it almost comes to you naturally. Is that what it is?
With practice,
Yes.
a lot of things fall into place. But if I may draw an analogy with communication and public speaking,
Yes.
there's a saying that we say there are two types of speakers, nervous ones and liars. What does that mean? As a speaker, you'll always have a tinge of nervousness, butterflies in the stomach. But how do you make those butterflies fly in unison? That's the trick. And as a leader, there's always that self-consciousness. There's that concern, am I doing it right? Did I say that right? Is this plan going to work? You can never sit at a position of being utterly comfortable that everything is okay, I've got this. And you're in a process of growing as well. As you grow in leadership, there are new things to learn, there are new challenges, there are new opportunities, and you always keep your eyes open for that black swan, that event that you do not expect. For example, COVID. Leaders had to go through drastic changes with COVID. Things like virtual board meetings, virtual management meetings, remote work. All these things were not there. Leaders therefore had to change and adjust things to accommodate things that were not expected. And that's the challenge of leadership. You'll never say, I've got it, I've been here. Every day is a new opportunity, every day is a new challenge, and you find yourself, even the leaders that you work with, bring you challenges that you've never had before.
Yes.
You look at the rules, whether there's something that can guide you. You also use your intuition and collaboration, and you look at what is the expected outcome, how can we achieve it ethically.
Yes. I want to ask you a very personal question then in line with where you find yourself today. I mean, you're a man who's seen the benefits of the Toastmasters. You've seen it. That until you decided to join it, there's a couple of things in your life that are not working, especially in your professional life, and they started turning around once you joined this club. Introduce you to communication, proper communication, public speaking, presentation, talking to people. I would like to think that you have your family. I mean, have you put them in the system? Every time you look at them, do you always critique them? I know they come to you with problems and they want to talk to you about it. Do you always introspect? You're like, you know, you should have presented this question like this to me.
Not really.
Have you put them in the trainer? That's the question I'm trying to get at.
Okay.
Yes.
Of course, you try to share with your family the best practices that you know.
No, sir.
I've got children in school, in the university.
Yeah.
And from time to time, they have projects. They come to me and I assist them with the tips, tricks that are appropriate for their level and their purpose.
Yes.
I do that. I also encourage them to be part of Toastmasters. And a lot of them seem to be taking a line towards communication and such.
Yes.
Because we tend to copy what our parents do.
That's it. Yeah.
But to answer you, yes, I try to help them, sometimes in very relaxed, hilarious ways. You know, like we have feedback in Toastmasters, and there's what is known as a sandwich method. You start with a positive, you give your suggestion in the middle, and you end in a high note, encouraging note, we say. It's like a sandwich.
Yeah.
Your recommendations are in the middle.
Does it?
You start with congratulations, recommendations, uplifting message. So sometimes when somebody gives you feedback in the house, you say, haven't you heard of the sandwich method? You just went straight to the critiquing.
Just went straight to the critiquing. I mean, tell me what I did better. Could have done it to zero, isn't it?
Yeah. So the top piece of bread eases you in.
That's it.
So someone can accept your feedback, and then you say, yeah,
This is what it is.
this is what it is.
Pretty much. Let's talk about you in person as well. I mean, upon your appointment, and that's a year ago, there's this personal challenge that you gave yourself in line with your top objectives for District 114. A year down the line, would you say that the targets that you put in place for yourself, that you have been able to achieve them? And if so, what is that one target that you set for yourself upon your appointment, which you like to say that you've achieved?
There are many objectives that you could come up with,
Yes.
guided by two key missions
Yes.
of the district. Number one is to grow new clubs, to build new clubs. And number two is to help all clubs to achieve excellence. Those are the two guiding missions of the district. And in line with those, we have had new clubs, which is a good thing, and also helping clubs to achieve excellence through helping them to understand the procedures, the methods that they can use to improve the quality of their clubs, because you find that's what sustains a club.
Yes.
When a club is of high quality, it retains the members that are there and also attracts new members. And we have done this by sharing the best practices across the clubs.
Yes.
And also helping them to understand the leadership principles and the leadership handbook. Because when every club year starts, the leaders are given this leadership handbook. So taking them through to understand what it means for them, how they can use it to benefit their clubs and their members. So I can say we have seen a dramatic improvement in the quality of the clubs,
Yes, sir.
because that was our concern at the beginning of the term.
Yes, sir.
How can we improve the quality of our meetings? Because that showcases who we are to people that are visiting to see what we're doing. And number two, it gives the experience a meaning to the members that are there. So yeah, improvement in quality has been a good thing that has happened to us.
Yes. So that generally, within the 1 year that you've been at this particular position, that you're satisfied with what you've been able to achieve.
Exactly. And it's usually a very short stint. Within 1 year, you've got to have done what you plan to do.
Yes.
And one thing that helps us is the success plan. So within the success plan, you have your targets, how many clubs you'd like to have, how many members you'd like to have, how many distinguished clubs. We also have now a qualitative measure within the clubs. It is measured through how many new members you brought in,
No, sir.
how many education goals your members achieved within the club, and also how you trained your officers, whether your officers attended some training, which is mandatory. All these qualities, which are measurable with a number, helps us to tell the quality of your club. So we look at our 89 clubs. We'd like to have at least 50 of them achieving a certain level of excellence. So in a few days' time, in fact, in a few hours' time, we have a dashboard.
Yes.
Which is going to be refreshed.
Yes.
And it will tell us how well we've done. So I can't tell us of today, but
Yes.
It looks
Yes.
good.
There, it looks good, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. Just one final question before we go on a break, and then I come back and then we look at exactly what your model is, how you can create clubs within your district. As a man who's celebrating his birthday today, for a man who's got into the system, for a man who's known the benefits of the Toastmasters Club, in line with communication, public speaking, is that one principle that you have that essentially makes your success at public speaking, which you'd like to share to our audience today? How do you move yourself? What is this one thing that you usually tell yourself before you stand up to speak to people? Because for you to be a leader, the top quality that you judge at is communication. I mean, good leaders are good communicators. What is the one thing that you carry?
It's the constant question you ask yourself: who am I going to talk to?
Yep.
What do they need?
Yep.
How can I give it to them? It's called audience awareness. So as a speaker, you have to be aware who you're talking to, what is the level of knowledge with the topic that you're going to give them, and is that topic relevant to them? You could stand up, have a message which is not relevant to your audience, or give it at a level which is either too far above or too far below. You have to find that sweet spot where the audience will get away with something new, something beneficial. I call them tools. So what tools are you giving your audience that they can begin using tomorrow? So that's one of the tips I can share.
No, sir. Pretty much you say we're on a landing mission right here on the Captain's Arena today, seated with Director, District 114 at Toastmasters Club. Once we come back, the proposition. Why should you be a part of this particular club? If you wanted to form a club within it, how are you going to be able to do that? And specifically, what do they help you gather in terms of skills? Which is going to be the reason as to why you may want to join them. Once we come back right here on the Captain's Arena. My name is Simbalaji Charles Kiage. The hashtag is the Captain's Arena.
Open University of Kenya, which was chartered on the 3rd of August 2023, aims to revolutionize higher education by breaking down barriers such as cost, previous exam grades, and geographical location through online open learning at the comfort of your home, job, etc., thus ensuring accessibility to education for all members of the society. In a nutshell, Open University of Kenya leverages technology to deliver education.
Open University has brought a new dawn in the Kenya education system, where learners are able to access education in a flexible, affordable, and all-inclusive.
Intakes ongoing for May and September. For more information, call us on 0202000211 or 0202000212 or email us at info@ouk.ac.ke. Open University of Kenya, an innovative university for inclusive prosperity.
At Lookuptv across all your social media platforms, the hashtag is the Captain's Arena. My name is Simbalaji Charles Kiage. In case you are just joining us, we have been in conversation and still are with the director, District 114 at Toastmasters Club. I want us to take him to the second part of our conversation then. What they give you, should you decide today that you're actually going to join them. And I'd like to start from this first one that you are presenting today. It's talking about improving your public speaking skills. Somebody is listening to you today and they're saying, well, that's an area that I would like to improve. That's a skill that I'd like to cultivate today from the Toastmasters Club. How long does it take me to fully say, I've gone through that and I'm done and dusted with it? One. And number two, is it an entire course? Talk to us about the structure specifically on public speaking. How do you vet and know that Simba Kiage, who joined Toastmasters Club today, is going to walk out of here once he's got this skill?
Being personal development, there's never an ending. You're always learning, always improving. It's a life skill. You cannot say after 5 years I'll be ready to go, because it's a skill that we need to keep on polishing. And what Toastmasters does for us is give us that platform to keep polishing it, to keep getting feedback from our evaluators, and also to keep on getting mentorship, improving, just tweaking that little, moving the needle a little bit further to become better.
Okay.
To explain how it works, it starts in the club. You look for a club that suits your meeting times, because different clubs meet on different days of the week, different locations, different times of the day.
Yes.
If you go to Toastmasters website, toastmasters.org, there's a tab there, find a club near me. You specify the radius, if it's 25 or 50 miles, whatever your preference. With the advantage of technology and the internet, it will locate where you are and open up to you the clubs located within your vicinity. Once you do that, you can select one which suits you, pay a visit, and see whether the composition of the club meets your requirements. You might find some clubs have very young people.
Yes, sir.
Others have middle-aged professionals. Others might have people that are specialized in a certain area like public speaking or comedy. We have specialty clubs. You choose a club that suits you. Once you join a club, we have the education program, which is hosted online. It's called Pathways, and it has 11 modules, which helps you to select what you'd like to develop, whether that's dynamic leadership or projects, whatever skill you want to develop. You'll find there are 11 pathways, which develop different competencies. And there are up to 300 competencies that you can develop through our Pathways program. So once you become a member, you get now access to the online learning management system, LMS. You get to select the path that suits you, and immediately you are allocated somebody to mentor you.
I said,
Helps you to understand what the program is about, how to navigate the platform. You also have your vice president of education in the club to hold your hand. And there you start your progress. It's in 5 levels. Every path has 5 levels. Just to clarify, because I said in the beginning, there is no ending,
Yes,
but with the paths, there are 5 levels.
yes.
From basics in level 1, then intermediate, then you become competent at level 5. When you do the 5 levels, you have completed a path. You have another 10 that you could choose from. One of the things I've done myself, even within a certain path
Yes.
that I'm undertaking, I reach a level or a place where I find I really need to master the projects and the skills within this level, and I find myself doing the same unit maybe 3 times. You do it the first time, you get feedback, you're told work on A, B, C, D. Go back, work on it, bring it again. Did I ace it? Did I get it right? Come back again a second, a third time.
Yes.
It's therefore self-paced. You take it at your own pace. You could go as fast as you want or as comfortably as you want.
That's it.
Clubs meet 2 times a month. Within those 2 times a month in your club, you can book as many slots as possible to have your practice time before your fellow club members.
That's it.
I have seen people that join Toastmasters, and within a year, they deliver only 2 projects, which is a waste. And I've seen other people, within a month, they deliver 4 projects. It's all entirely dependent on you. So no one will tell you that you have to do 4 projects in a year,
Yes.
otherwise you'll get X. You just take it at your own pace. It's self-paced, it's online-based, you have the support of your mentor, your evaluator, your vice president education. You therefore take it at your own pace.
That's it. I want to go back to that as well. If I decide to pick this particular class because I just want to get one skill, which could be public speaking, so that I can go through all the 5 stages, am I picking this class based on the fact that within the club there are also other people who've picked this particular class? Because practice at the end of the day also becomes an important part in my development.
Sure enough, when
Yes.
you join the club, you'll find other advanced members
Yes.
who have gone through the same path, hopefully.
Yes.
But even if they've not gone through the same exact path as you, what we have within these paths are transferable principles that cut across, as opposed to something that is specific to a certain skill or a certain pathway. You find even though your mentor may not have done that particular path, they have skills that can help you in your own different path. What matters is somebody that understands the Toastmasters method, has been there for a while, is a good mentor, would like to mentor you. You find they'll be a good resource for you. I think the best way to go about it, or what you should look for in a club, is the club chemistry. Do you feel that you fit in? Maybe it's something about the age group. Maybe it's about the mix of the professionals within that club.
That's it.
So a major part, again, of our Toastmasters experience is networking. You network within the club. That helps you to network better outside the club.
I want to pick the second part as well. Because I know you're also telling every other guy who wants to join Toastmasters or who's looking for a reason to join Toastmasters today that this is going to help you get ahead at work. Could you put that into perspective? How is it going to help me get ahead of work?
We say that leaders need to be good communicators.
Yes.
And good communicators need to be leaders. If I may share a personal story, my Toastmasters experience really opened up doors for me in the arena of leadership, especially in the professional arena. I found myself at a certain stage getting leadership responsibilities where half of the people within the group that I'm leading outside of that room would be my seniors. And what made the difference for me is that ability to verbalize the aspirations of the group, to clearly communicate your ideas, to exude that confidence and that appearance that you know what you're talking about, you've done your research, you're confident, you can communicate clearly, and that makes you a leader. Most leaders that you know today are good communicators, and that's the number one skill that is guaranteed to get you ahead of the crowd in whatever field.
Yes.
The ability to stand with confidence and to speak eloquently.
Yes. So, if any other person who's at work, and let's speak to the human resource managers at this particular point, and they're thinking, that would be a good course for my employees right here at this particular company. Is that offering where you're saying, well, we, are the Toastmasters, would accept a certain company to take their employees through this particular courses so that that becomes an added value of working for that particular company? Or is the employees who are going to be spoken to personally join this particular club? How is your membership? Do you have group membership in these clubs?
The beauty of it is that you can have a Toastmasters club within your organization. We call them corporate clubs. Companies like Pepsi Cola, Coca-Cola in the US, other big companies have what are called corporate clubs.
Yes.
But even in East Africa, we also have corporate clubs in Kenya, in Uganda, in Tanzania, in Burundi. We have clubs that have been sponsored by corporates. We call them corporate clubs. We also have the other type of clubs, which are community clubs. The difference being community clubs gather around a certain region or area or locality, and it's people from different professions, different walks of life. They come together and decide to set up a club as a community. Then we have corporate clubs, which are sponsored by employers. These are employers that would like their employees to develop soft skills. So in the corporate clubs, the company sponsors the club, and that enables their staff members to not only discover, develop, but also leverage their soft skills. You find in a workplace, there might be somebody who is a really good communicator, but has not been discovered because the platform is not there. When you start a Toastmasters club, this person now discovers their skill, develops it, and begins to leverage on it. And it's a skill that they never knew they had.
Yes.
We've seen this experience many times within both corporate clubs and community clubs. Therefore, it's a smart way for employers to have the Toastmasters experience within their company.
Yes.
It will develop team building, precise communication, leverage on their soft skills, cross-cultural interaction. So it's a big plus for companies. In Kenya, we have almost 5 companies that have Toastmasters within the organization.
Yes, pretty much. So, which takes me to the next part then, which is related to what you've spoken here. Should I want to start a Toastmasters club today, in whatever position that I would like to start it at? What is the process like?
For you to start a Toastmasters club, you need at least 20 people.
Okay.
It's a minimum of 20 people that are interested. So in a working place, if you have 20 people that are interested, you can start corporate clubs. Once you have these 20 people that are interested in starting this club,
yes,
you now go through the process of applying to Toastmasters International to be allowed to use the Toastmasters method and curriculum. There will be application forms that each of the individual members fill, so their details are captured, the individual members. Then to have this club, there's a one-time fee of $125. That's a club registration fee,
Yes.
one time. For the members that you bring in, there's a one-time $20 membership fee for life. Now there are the subscriptions every 6 months. So that's $60. It will cost you $60 per member every 6 months, payable in September and in March. And that's it in terms of the cost. It's one of the most affordable personal development programs. It's been around for 100 years, and it's tried and proven in 142 countries.
Well, specifically talk about the mentors then that you attach to, I like to call them students as well, to the students who come and take these classes now. How do you go about the process of identifying the perfect mentor to attach to specific classes?
What we do is when a person joins a Toastmasters club, we take their profile. What do you do? What's your interest? What would you like to get out of this program? With that information, we are able to match them with a mentor that would provide those aspirations that will enable them to achieve the aspirations they have, whether in communication or in leadership. There's a little bit of matchmaking between the members, and this is the responsibility of the Vice President Education. But members are free within a couple of weeks. If it's working, you keep up with it. If it's not working, there's a flexibility that you could request. Can I try a different mentor? But if it works, you continue with it.
Yes. What is the format of the group meetings that happen twice a month? What do they feel like? How do they appear like?
What happens, members come together to assist one another, develop their communication and leadership skills. It's typically a 2-hour meeting where you have about 4 prepared speeches, which will be evaluated by evaluators. You therefore have 4 prepared speakers, 4 evaluators. You also have a segment that we love, impromptu speaking. So you'll have a segment about 20 minutes where everyone will have a chance to speak within the meeting, and you're given a 1 to 2 minute opportunity to respond to a question that you're not prepared for. And this prepares us for impromptu speaking. Then we have their demonstrative bit. You met last time, there were some minutes which were taken.
Yes.
You have the secretary take you through the minutes, what was discussed, and if it's acceptable, it's confirmed and adopted and put in the archives as a record of that meeting.
Yes.
We also have whatever officer announcements may be there, notifying members of upcoming events and all that. Then we get into the meat, which is now the speeches. The 4 speakers speak. We have the evaluation session. Evaluators also give their feedback. Then we have what we call functionaries that enable the meeting to move along. We have the sergeant at arms surveying the room, make sure everybody is comfortable, there are no interruptions. We have a grammarian. Check out your language. Did you speak proper language? We have an R counter. Counts your hesitations. How many R's and arms did you have? How can you improve? We also have a timer. The timer makes us run on time for every segment, and they have signals to show you whether you're in time, you're out of time. And that helps us to start on time and end on time, which is a hallmark of Toastmasters. We endeavor to start our meetings on time, finish them on time, and every segment in between has to run within the allocated time, and the timer helps us with that.
Yes.
We also test our listening skills. We have a hack master. To hack means to listen. So how well have you listened to everything that happens during the meeting? So at the end of the meeting, the hack master stands up. In so-and-so's speech, how many cattle did he say are in Botswana? If you're listening, you know the answer. So it helps us to be good listeners.
You're going to make this question a lot more times every time you float the idea of somebody joining Toastmasters Club. If I look around, I'll see institutions that offer these courses: public speaking, speech writing, presentation, the courses on leadership in these institutions around us. What would you change that person's mind? What would you tell them? Hold on, I think Toastmasters will be a better platform for you than going to that institution to take a postgraduate course on leadership skills, on presentation skills, and speech writing.
The biggest thing I would say is the practicality. Toastmasters is practical. We learn by doing. And you also have the benefit of the mentors who've been there. We have members who've been members for 20 years. You can imagine that experience. We also have the affordability. Toastmasters is a non-profit organization that enables us to provide this first-class education program very affordably. You can think about $60 every 6 months. That's $10 a month. It's quite affordable.
It's affordable.
Yeah, so the affordability, the track record, our learning modules, you can imagine 100 years. They've been under so much refinement over the years. They really are targeted. They deliver what they're supposed to deliver. And also the club environment, the method of Toastmasters, where you have peer review, where you have very clear modules that you can follow. That gives us a competitive edge. Then we also have many other programs that helps us. Beside the prepared speeches that you deliver, we have the competitions, the speaking competitions in 4 categories. So you'll compete on how to give feedback. We call that evaluation contest. You learn how to deliver a 5 to 7 minute speech of your own topic that is supposed to compete all the way to the international stage. So in August this year, we're going to have the international convention, within which one of the major highlight events is the international speech contest, where a world champion of public speaking emerges. So world champion of public speaking is one of the coveted accolades that any Toastmaster would want to have.
Yes.
It gives you an opportunity to start competing at the club level, area level, division level, district level. Then you go to the regional level where you're competing at a couple of districts. Then we have our semi-finalists who go and showcase their skills at the global stage.
Pretty much. I want to come back to you as well. You speak like a man who's realized the importance of public speaking, the importance of personal development. If somebody asked you, what is the one value that you would love for your kids to grow on knowing, what would it be? That should that be your last day on the face of the planet, you will go out smiling, man, knowing very well that they know that, so they're going to be good.
It would probably be the same thing my father told me, that the world is full of followers, but it desperately needs leaders. Therefore, become a leader, if you can, because that's the one thing that's desperately missing in this world, leadership. If you can lead from whatever, even if it's leading yourself, lead a small group of 5, 1,000, you will have made a meaningful contribution in life by leading other people, helping them achieve their goals. It's not an easy thing to bring people together from different backgrounds and help them to see how the mission of the team can hook into their own personal mission, and they feel ownership, they feel motivated to help achieve the mission and the goal of the team.
What is that one thing that makes you wake up in the morning to identify with our Toastmasters Club? What is the one thing, should I ask you, that makes you talk about Toastmasters Club, that makes you sell this particular club? What is that one thing?
The one thing that drives me is the impact that I have seen, not only in my own life, but in the lives of many people that have come through Toastmasters.
Yes.
To see them develop that confidence, and to see that confidence open doors for them career-wise, family-wise, socially. That drives me to know that whatever I'm doing will help somebody unlock doors that seemed locked forever.
Yes.
To unlock opportunities that they thought were impossible. One of the things that I also do outside of Toastmasters but related is coaching speakers in platforms like TEDx. And there I have seen people come, they have an idea that is brilliant, but they don't have the tools and the techniques to communicate it, to help them just figure out what is their core message, how can they get it across. That gives me a lot of satisfaction.
Is that time you're going to say, maybe now it's done? And have you seen it? Have you seen it? What is the plan? Or you're going to say, okay, guys, I've done it. In as much as Toastmasters is concerned, I'm there.
There are always new challenges in Toastmasters. Right now, I'm the district director, but there are other levels of leadership where you get to work now facilitating other district directors. That's a regional director. Then there are other international levels. Then there's the international president. Maybe after the international president, I'll say yes. Now it's done. I can relax, sit on the back bench and enjoy.
Did you feel confident that the line is now open for you to rise to that level?
Yes. What I am right now is one of the stepping stones.
Yes.
A pathway towards that is either through the regional advisor path or the international director path, and that gives you an opportunity to progress upwards.
Yes. Let me talk about District 114 specifically. I started in 2017. When you look at the way it's grown to where we are 7 years later, would you say that people within this region or this district have essentially attached importance to public speaking and personal development?
Yes, because of the initiatives that we have. Like we have the district conference where we try and publicize Toastmasters. That has helped a lot. And also the support now from headquarters. Before we became a district, we were what is known as undistricted region.
Yes.
Everything we had to deal with the headquarters, which is in the US. And that long distance did not really help. Now when we got the district, we have a local support system that has helped a lot to spread the goodness of Toastmasters through chartering new clubs. We became a district when we were about 60 clubs. We are now 89, going to 90. It has helped in the expansion of Toastmasters within the region. It has helped with getting out the word about Toastmasters and the publicity. I have the experience that within a week, I don't miss 1 or 2 phone calls out of the blue of someone that heard about Toastmasters and would like to know more, would like to join a club. How can we help them? That tells us that the word of Toastmasters is getting out there.
Yeah.
And it's probably the experience of a couple of other Toastmasters as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Paint for me a picture of yourself 15 years from now.
15 years from now is quite a while out there. First I have to think about how will I be, what will I be doing, will I be retired? But 15 years from now,
Yeah.
I'll have the benefit of looking back and seeing the impact that I had within the society.
Yes.
Thanks to Toastmasters, but also on the professional field. I'd like to see a legacy of helping other people become a better version of themselves, helping other people achieve their goals, clarify their dreams, become better at expressing who they are. I like to see a legacy where I have made a meaningful contribution
Yes.
in the social sphere, professional sphere, but also the family sphere. I like to see a society which is more connected because I believe people can achieve extraordinary things through the power of words.
Yes.
So how do we take this wonderful thing called communication, use it to build a society, to build a community that is not only together but progressive, all through the power of words.
Pretty much. Finally then, and take 15 seconds to answer this question. You turned a year older today. What was that wish that you made today when you realized, oh, I'm a year older?
My wish was for good health and progress and also more impact in the society, so that with all the experience that I have up to today, what can I look back and take and bring out and use that to help people achieve their goals, become a better version of themselves? How can I use those years, that experience, to help people move up a notch higher in their lives? That's all I'd like to achieve going on forward.
Mr. Misal, I wish that the next time I get to speak to you, and we shouldn't make it a year now, should be more often this year, is that I'll be speaking to the regional director probably before the end of the year or next year beginning. I speak to the president. Why not?
Yes, it's a track that, but what happens is, for continuity purpose,
Yes.
I'll still have another responsibility, which is the immediate past district director,
Does it?
assisting now the new team that will come
Yes.
to connect with what we've been doing in the previous year. So I'll be the link between the previous leadership and the new leadership, which is coming up in the month of June. So in the month of May, between the 9th and the 11th, we have our annual district conference, which I must talk about
In a minute.
in a minute.
Yes.
Thanks. Yeah.
Pretty much. Guess what? You actually do want to be part of this one. You only have to go to Toastmasters International. Then after that, go to the tab that says find a club. Once you find that particular club, then you would see how the process is quite easy for you to get into. Guess what? In conversation with the director then of District 114, who's spoken to you about why you need to be a part of Toastmasters Club. The silence is for you to actually look for it right now and get joining. This has been the Captain's Arena. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. Thank you very much for watching, Mr. Musau. Happy to have you around.
Thank you very much.
All right.